There's something heartbreaking about watching a footballer with all the tools never reach the top. These players all had potential to be spoken of alongside the very best, but never quite made it there. Nani arrived at Manchester United in 2007 in Cristiano Ronaldo's shadow, and that's where he remained. The Portuguese winger possessed outrageous talent, blistering pace, mesmerizing dribbling, and match-winning end product. During 2010-11, he genuinely looked the part, registering 9 goals and 14 assists in the league. Nani contributed to 27 of United's 78 league goals that season, more than a third of their output. Yet he was never shortlisted for PFA Player of the Year, beaten to young player by Jack Wilshere despite delivering a title. The problem wasn't one brilliant season, it was the 50 inconsistent games surrounding it. One week he'd terrorize Europe's best defenses, the next he'd be anonymous. Unlike Ronaldo, who developed an obsessive mentality to dominate every match, Nani never found that psychological switch. Ashley Young's arrival in 2011 effectively ended his time as a guaranteed starter. The talent was undeniable, the consistency was not. Mario Balotelli's career reads like a Greek tragedy with dark humor. Made to terrorize defenders, physically imposing, rapid, blessed, with a striker's instinct that produced crucial goals for Inter Milan and Manchester City. His 2 goals in Euro 2012 semi-final, capped by that iconic flexing celebration, briefly made him look like Italian football's future. Jose Mourinho, however, declared he had a single brain cell and was impossible to work with. Roberto Mancini went between praise and despair. The fireworks incident, showing up drunk to training bust-ups, these weren't isolated situations but patterns. Mino Raiola, his former agent, bluntly told him laziness and lack of discipline were why Messi and Ronaldo had Ballon d'Ors while he had controversy. At his peak in 2012, Balotelli genuinely could have become world-class. Instead, he bounced between clubs for over a decade, barely spending more than a year in one place. The talent was there, however, the professionalism never arrived. Next up, Ricardo Quaresma. Ricardo Quaresma's career feels like beautiful chaos. His trivela, that curved outside of the boot shot, became his signature trademark. Coming through Sporting's academy with Ronaldo, many scouts rated Quaresma's raw talent higher. Yet while Ronaldo built an empire through relentless hard work, Quaresma remained the street footballer refusing to conform. His Barcelona season ended after publicly refusing to play under Frank Rijkaard. At Inter under Mourinho, tactical discipline proved impossible, and he was loaned to Chelsea for just 5 forgettable appearances. He even won the Bidone d'Oro, the Golden Bin, for worst Serie A player. Multiple managers cited the same issues: work rate, tactical awareness, inability to function within structured systems. Quaresma didn't want to be a cog, he wanted to be the magician performing tricks. That refusal meant his career became brief stops rather than sustained excellence. Here's a painful one: Demarai Gray. Demarai Gray represents a different kind of unfulfilled promise, not derailed by tragedy, but by stagnation. Coming through Birmingham City's academy, he burst onto the championship scene as a teenager with explosive pace and dribbling that marked him as one of England's brightest young prospects. Leicester City moved quickly to sign him in 2016 during their miracle title-winning campaign. The technical ability was undeniable, yet across 5 years at Leicester, he made over 150 appearances without ever convincing successive managers he deserved a regular starting role. Alex Dunn noted, Gray proved to be incredibly adept at killing time when coming on for Leicester as a late substitute. A telling observation that he became more useful for game management than game-changing. His decision-making in the final third became the recurring issue: wrong passes, over-dribbling, rushed shooting. When Leicester refused to offer him a new contract in 2021, he moved to Bayer Leverkusen for just 6 months before Everton picked him up. He started brilliantly under Rafa Benitez, scoring 3 goals in his first 4 games, but predictably, the goals dried up and inconsistency returned. His Everton career followed the same pattern: flashes of brilliance surrounded by anonymity. Gray remained essentially the same player from 19 to his late 20s, never developing the tactical maturity to consistently impact top-level matches. Bojan Krkic's story shows the crushing weight of expectation. At La Masia, he obliterated records, reportedly scoring over 900 goals for Barcelona's youth teams. His senior debut came 3 months younger than Messi's, and comparisons were immediate and suffocating. In 2008, before facing Osasuna, Bojan suffered his first severe anxiety attack. The dizziness was so intense he could barely stand. He played after taking caffeine tablets, but once home, the attack returned, leaving him trembling and hospitalized. Anxiety became his shadow. When Spain called him for a friendly against France in February 2008, he suffered another attack in the dressing room minutes before kickoff. Luis Aragonés wanted him for Euro 2008, a tournament Spain would win. But Bojan declined. "I just couldn't. I did not have the strength." He wore hoods in public to avoid recognition, took anti-anxiety medication constantly. His promising start, 12 goals in his debut season, never developed into sustained excellence because the pressure of being the next Messi was unbearable. After Barcelona, his career became nomadic. Roma, AC Milan, Ajax, Stoke City, and more. He found happiness eventually, but the elite career predicted at 15 never materialized. Now, who could forget Demarai Payet? Demarai Payet's career wasn't derailed by anxiety, but by fleeting brilliance. A late bloomer who didn't announce himself until his late 20s, Payet spent years bouncing between French clubs before his breakout 2014-15 at Marseille, where he registered 17 assists. Only Messi and De Bruyne had more in Europe's top 5 leagues. His vision, passing range, and free kicks made him a Ballon d'Or nominee after starring at Euro 2016, where he scored that stoppage time winner against Romania. At West Ham during 2015-16, he was genuinely world-class, creating 27 league goals. Yet his second season produced just 8 goal involvements, and he went on strike by January 2017, refusing to play until Marseille bought him back. Even Andy Carroll criticised him publicly. Payet's peak lasted maybe 18 months at the absolute top, never long enough to establish elite status. Injuries, particularly the hamstring tear ending his 2018 Europa League final in tears, prevented sustained dominance. He possessed all the technical gifts but was never quite durable or consistent enough across multiple years. Ismaila Sarr represents the most frustrating category, players with world-class attributes who never put it together. His pace is genuinely frightening, creating chances from nothing. He scored twice against Liverpool in their unbeaten run-ending defeat in 2020 and helped Senegal win the 2021 and 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Yet, across 4 Watford seasons, surrounded by managerial chaos and relegation, he managed just 34 goals in 131 appearances. His Marseille move was similarly underwhelming, 3 league goals all season as injuries plagued him. At a point, almost every top 6 club in the league wanted him. Now, at Crystal Palace at 28, he's finally showing consistency under Oliver Glasner, but never made the leap to a European giant during his peak. The athleticism remains elite. The end product and tactical intelligence never quite reached that level consistently. For someone with his physical gifts, that represents unfulfilled potential rather than elite play at the highest level. 7 players, 7 different reasons why talent alone isn't enough. Each possessed ability to reach the summit. Yet elite status demands more than just ability. It requires mentality, consistency, luck, and sometimes circumstances beyond control. Honorable mentions are Adel Taarabt, Marco Marin, and Hamit Altintop. Do you know anyone else who belongs on this list? Let us know in the comments. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to turn on post notifications so that you never miss out on any new videos. See you next time. Bye.